Welcome back. So this is the second module of our Business, Government, and Society course. And this module is going to be dedicated to what we call the dynamic environment. The dynamic environment builds on our discussion of models and ontologies, and it will kind of serve as a nice segue into basically every kind of little piece of empirical data that we're going to address in this course. So in this module, we're going to talk about three different kind of levels of analysis of the dynamic environment. First of all, we'll talk about deep historical forces. And deep historical forces are those things that have had an irrevocable impact on the course of humanity. Now, this impact could be positive or negative depending on your point of view, but either way, anything that we talk about in the context of deep historical forces has permanently changed the course of human history. And there are 9 of them that we will discuss. Then we will talk about the external or market environment. And these are basically kind of a refresher of all that stuff you learned in your neoclassical economics classes like micro and macro. And we'll basically be looking at the forces that kind of shape a supply and demand curve. And then we'll be looking at the internal organizational environment. Okay. And the internal environment is basically all those things that function to shape the way a corporation or any other sort of government organization functions on a day-to-day basis. Now, what I want you to do, keep in the back of your mind, is all of these kind of 3 levels of analysis will serve as a way for you to come up with variables on how to project past, present, and future trends. This is kind of a parallel way of understanding variables that can be used for scenario building. It's a parallel methodology to what we will call the PEST analysis, which we'll talk about in the next module. So just kind of keep that in the back of the mind. That's kind of the ultimate goal of all things that we're talking about here. 1, it introduces some of the concepts that we'll talk about a little bit later in this course. But 2, these are also a great source for variables for use in scenario building. So on our next video, we will talk about the deep historical forces, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then.